Let's have a look at tomorrow's papers, and here are your front pages. We'll start with the Daily Mail, and they are leading with the following. PM allies accuse Sue Gray of playing politics on the eve of the Partygate report. They blast toxic briefings and insist it was her who requested a meeting with the Prime Minister. OK, next up, where shall we go? Telegraph next. Gene-edited crops to help ease Ukraine food crisis. Ministers say speeding up approval for new methods of food production will guarantee the nation's food supplies. Also, head of civil service facing Partygate flak, and NHS waiting lists may be twice as long as reported. Now there's a surprise. OK, The Guardian next. Children's mental health in crisis as cases rocket to a record high. A toll of 400,000 patients triggers alarm over the scale of problems since COVID. Yes, I will draw your attention to a couple of years of lockdowns which may have had their impact. Work is the best way out of the cost of living crisis, says the Prime Minister. Boris Johnson hopes to blunt calls for urgent action on the cost of living crisis by stressing that work is the best route out of poverty amid continued wrangling among ministers about the merits of a windfall tax on energy companies. OK, the Financial Times next, and let's have a look what they are saying. And this one is a pretty interesting story, actually, which has caught my eye. Investors challenged by demise of three-decade era of globalisation. That story reflecting concern in many quarters that the weakness of globalisation is now beginning to rear its ugly head. OK, the Times newspaper next, and their headline is certainly worthy of note. Fuel poverty predicted to hit 40% of households. More bad news for cash-strapped Brits. OK, next up, we've got the Daily Express. And the Express are saying the following. Time for a rescue plan. Rishi energy bills to hit £3,000. But what can the government do? That's a conversation we'll be having shortly. The Sun newspaper next. Kids nurse in poison kill quiz. A very concerning story there. Police have arrested a woman who's 27 years of age, accused of actually poisoning a child. That is clearly a very concerning case, and we'll bring more on that when we get it. OK, the Metro next. Brits feel the pinch. Rise in shoplifting to survive. The cost of living crisis is creating a new wave of first-time shoplifters stealing to eat, according to retail experts. The particular supermarket that was interviewed for this story said that thieves are not the usual suspects at the moment and are taking less expensive items, hinting at the desperation of many British shoppers.